Hello, my name's Andrew Kalita from On Demand HR, and today we're going to be tackling and offering some of our thoughts on the very highly charged topic of mandatory vaccinations in New South Wales workplaces. If I'm completely honest with you, we had some significant internal debate on if we should be releasing any content on this subject matter at the risk of polarising any individual or business owner, as our observations have been that this issue is highly divisive and one which both businesses and individuals feel very strongly one way or the other, with very little in the middle. Ultimately, we've resolved that we have an obligation to our audience to discuss the current state of play as at 12 August 2021, some of the proposed legislation in this space, the case for mandatory workplace vaccinations balanced against some of the inherent risks, as well as our current advice in this space for our clients. We do this not to advocate one position or another, but rather to inform and let our audience into some of the conversations that we are having within the business internally and ultimately with our clients to allow individual businesses to make a more informed decision with regards to a workplace relations strategy that is right for them. And finally, before I get into the content, for the purposes of this video, we will be sticking to the workplace relations side of this debate. And much of what we have to cover today will ultimately be decided in the courts and the commissions. And therefore, we must say that this commentary is for information purposes. And prior to making any decisions, we strongly advise and encourage you to seek independent advice regarding your individual circumstances. If you're watching this on social media, this is part of a longer session on this subject matter, which you can view by visiting ondemandhr.com.au or by using the link in this post. So let's move on to the subject of mandatory vaccination directives in the New South Wales construction industry. Effective as of 11 August 2021, construction workers in the current affected LGAs will require at least some level of vaccination in order to be able to return to work. They will be required to provide evidence that they have had at least 2 doses of a COVID-19 vaccine or 1 dose of a COVID-19 vaccine at least 3 weeks prior to returning to work, or at least 1 dose of the vaccine if this was administered less than 3 weeks ago. They would need a negative COVID test from the past 72 hours. As a result of this, earlier this week, On Demand HR has met with in excess of 20 construction business owners to get a better understanding of their concerns regarding these new directives. Many of them have advised that up to 70% of their workforce, many of whom live in an affected LGA, are hesitant to receive a COVID vaccination for a variety of reasons. And it seems clear to us already that the New South Wales government's directive are going to have a significant effect on the construction business, and in many cases, prevent them from resuming operations of their construction sites. Construction businesses are also concerned that the definition of an affected LGA can be rapidly expanded by the New South Wales state government, as evidenced by the inclusion of some suburbs in the Penrith region over the weekend. In addition to this, construction businesses express that some principal contractors and large builders have either put in place or are planning to put in place mandatory vaccination policies on an ongoing basis, which may in turn force them to adopt these policies for their business in order to keep the business functioning and potentially assume some of the liabilities regarding workers' compensation, unfair dismissal, and discrimination discussed earlier. In some cases, regardless of the view of the business owner or directors, the sheer number of conscientious objections to vaccinations means that the effects for the businesses are likely to be inevitable. We note that Mulgoa MP Tanya Davies, in response to this, is currently seeking to introduce a private member's bill to reverse these industry-specific mandatory vaccinations. Again, we're forced to separate the debate around vaccinations and lockdowns in general from the mandatory directive to get vaccinated for employers. As we understand it, the public health order enforcing this, which was introduced on 26 June 2021, has seen no less than 22 amendments since its introduction. So in some ways, it's no wonder that many construction businesses are lacking confidence in government directions, and they're adopting a wait and see response to this directive. From an on-demand HR perspective, we have similar reservations around workers' compensation, unfair dismissal, and adverse action for our clients in relation to these directives, with not much clarity in sight. Further to this, we have some concerns that these directives may also be considered a major workplace change requiring consultation with employees under the Fair Work Act and modern awards. At this time, we'd like to invite you to share your opinion, your views, and your experiences. And if you'd like to have a discussion about this and potentially some strategies for your workplace, please do not hesitate to reach out to us by visiting ondemandhr.com.au. Finally, if you're watching this on social media, this is an extract from a longer session on this subject matter, where we tackle this challenging question from multiple angles and perspectives. And you can view the entire session on our website at ondemandhr.com.au. So from the entire team here at On Demand HR, we hope that you're staying safe, and we are ready and available to help support your business in any way that we can.